feel like, and most people I think would agree, like we're currently in this era where people are just like coming to this sort of awakening of how damaging alcohol can be for our bodies. For so long, alcohol has just been like our go-to companion for social moments, for self-care moments, but there's definitely been this sort of like science awakening where science is now showing more and more like just how damaging it is. And so when we saw that trend coming, and we also had been like really trying to figure out like what is a wellness oriented product that is like reoccurring in nature, solves a really specific problem, it was like a light bulb moment. Like this is the product to create.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Locating Greatest podcast. I'm your host, Jadrian Lawson, also your favorite realtor. Now today, it's a pretty big day. It's a pretty big episode. I want to introduce these people because they are these women, these queens. Matter of fact, excuse my French, but these queens today, because they are bringing something very special to the table. I grew up around and with these young ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to put your hands together for Ashlyn, Darian, and Shanna, and they are representing Sensori. Ladies, how y'all doing today?
Good.
How are you?
I'm all right.
You're
all
right.
You know, it's been a long day, but we pushing. So, first off, how's your day, man?
Whew.
And pull those two up to you. Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said we aren't a bit tired as well.
Yeah.
It's been a week full of investor calls, which we are very grateful for.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But you know what that entails, just back-to-back meetings from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Right. That's good. And you two all the same?
Yeah.
Y'all been together all day?
I'm like,
so it's
we're
my
actually all
house
staying at Shanna's house.
Right. My house has been
We've
like
been together all week.
my house has been like summer camp for us. Because she's here because we just had so much to do this past week.
Right.
So she came from New York, and then
My apartment flooded before I moved, so I've been staying with Shanna for the past, week, 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Wait,
maybe 2 weeks or so.
This is in Boston?
No, we're moving to Boston this weekend.
Okay.
And then I was supposed to stay in my apartment up until then, obviously. But then it was like 2 weeks ago, I think my apartment flooded.
Okay.
And Shanna was like, just come stay at our house. It'll be great. Darian's coming. And it has been great. Like, we have been able to wake up and work together all day.
Yeah.
But no, we've been together not just all day, all week.
Okay.
All week.
But we have a little routine going.
Yeah, some quality founder time, but it's kind of giving like sensory compound.
Yeah.
It really is giving
boot camp.
we literally wake up and we immediately have meetings.
Right.
We have podcast recording.
Yeah.
It's truly been nonstop. I don't really think outside of that day we sat there and watched the movie, and I don't think you were.
No, we have worked all day.
We have been working.
Yeah.
Even if we go take a little evening break, we'll come back and then laptops are out. The boys at this point are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They know what time it is.
They're like, we're gonna go to bed, and we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be up for another 3 hours.
Truly, that's been the vibe at our house.
So how did all of y'all meet? Let's get into that.
School.
Yeah.
I would say.
High school.
Yeah.
I guess middle school maybe. I feel like
So
I knew you guys when I was
we
middle
first
school.
ran track together. We were both on McKinney Track Attack. Ashlyn is 3 years younger, so she was in my little brother's friend group. So I first met Ashlyn as little sis, which is so funny.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
then
what year are you?
I graduated from North 2017.
What? Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, wow.
Okay.
No, I just didn't realize. I tell people 2015.
No, it was
I'm getting
definitely-
my
It was 2017.
yeah. I mean, only reason I know that is
I
because
was a
my
freshman
brother.
when you guys were seniors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a freshman when we were seniors.
Okay.
Because I
And
guess
then-
we met her in when she was in 7th grade.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
first moved to Texas, I was in McKinney Track Attack, did the whole thing, and that's when I met Shanna. And then obviously when I became friends with Shannon and
Yeah.
Jared and them, obviously you were dating Julian, Summer.
Yeah,
Lauren,
she
the
used
friend
to
group's
date.
just-
Right.
All of my friends' older siblings were friends with all of
With
them.
them.
So I was just in the
Okay.
mix.
They were the
I just
little,
forced my way
the
in the
little
mix.
siblings. She dated my husband's little brother,
Okay.
and then my brother dated her best friend.
We were,
Okay.
planning,
And
we
then-
were plotting on that.
And
What a-
then
Yeah, we were.
we
What a,
also had another.
entanglement.
No, we have such an we are all truly just family forever.
No,
even our
truly
parents are
locked in.
Yeah.
At Shanna's wedding, they were all just looking at all of us, so they were just wow.
just
We
running
will
around.
never, ever not all be together.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
And then Darian and I met in 8th grade.
I met you through Julian
Yeah.
when they
Wait,
started
so
dating.
we all Okay,
Because I
you
met
went to
Julian
school
in
with
sixth
us.
grade.
Because I was in. We went to the same
We
school.
went to Dow, right?
I went to
Didn't you go
Cockrell.
No,
Oh,
see,
you went to Cockrell too.
Well, I played football with Julian.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Julian
Yes,
first
yeah.
went to Johnson in sixth grade, and so I met him in
Oh,
sixth grade.
She
okay,
went to
okay.
Johnson.
I
and
stayed
then,
at Johnson, and then
Right.
Cockrell opened seventh grade.
Yeah,
And
seventh,
so-
eighth grade for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you went to Dow with me in sixth grade too, right?
and then
So
I
we
went
went
to
to like
Cockrell.
all middle
So
school
let's count
together.
the years. That's like 2 decades.
This is
That
crazy.
is
This
wild.
is crazy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
wild.
Just so you know, we have really known each other.
We know each
Reminiscence
other.
session. You know. Okay, so let's pivot. Why Sensori? Why this product in general?
Why Sensori? I feel like, and most people I think would agree, like we're currently in this era where people are just like coming to this sort of awakening of how damaging alcohol can be for our
Right.
bodies. Like,
Right.
I feel like for so long, and we've been talking about this like a ton over the last days, like as we've been pitching people, like for so long, alcohol has just been like our go-to companion for social moments, for self-care moments. But there's definitely been this sort of like science awakening where science is now showing more and more like just
Right.
how damaging it is. And so when we saw that trend coming, and we also had been like really trying to figure out like what is a wellness oriented product that is like reoccurring
Right.
in nature, solves a really specific problem.
Right.
When we were trying to in that headspace trying to figure out what that was, this was obviously like a thing. Like the way like the light bulb moment was dry January, probably 2 years ago.
Oh.
And I was like trying all these non-alcoholic beverages, and it's a new market, so there weren't a ton for me to even try.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
There weren't a ton, and I tried like, the handful that exists, and I was like, this is nasty. This also doesn't give me a sensation.
Yeah.
Or I was like, okay, this is great, but it has THC, and
Yeah.
like,
Oh, okay.
not everyone wants THC
Right.
in their beverages, and so.
Right.
It was like a light bulb moment. Like,
Right.
this is the product to create.
Right.
So,
I'm gonna pivot to you, Ashlyn. Y'all being in 3 different cities, how is that working out for y'all? I know y'all like in the bunker right now together, but
Yeah.
how's like all of that shaping?
I think that, I mean, it's something that we even discussed like last year like, when we started
Right.
started like coming into the company, and we knew that the East Coast and New York and even on the West Coast was going to be some of our targets, like these big metro areas where there are kind of like these conscious consumers.
Right.
So we honestly saw it as an opportunity. Like now we have a second like warehouse hub in New York where we can ship out of there to save on shipping prices because so many of our current customers and our demographics are on the East Coast. So I mean we do have to obviously align in terms of like time zones and meetings, but
Right.
Jadrian basically has that like down like the back of her hand. Like she can speak in Eastern to like Central time all the time.
Yeah.
So I honestly think it kind of gives us a little bit of curve because we can be in different places at once.
Right,
Like,
right.
Yeah.
If someone wants us to pop up at a bar in New York, or now that I'll be in Boston, we'll be able to do that.
That's dope.
Without having to pay for a plane ticket or
Yeah.
miss out on opportunities because
Right.
we can't ship in time.
Right.
We can't pay for the overnight shipping or anything like that. So it's honestly kind of exciting.
Right.
I think that to some people, obviously from the outside in, it could pose some challenges, but a lot of our work, since we've been kind of like in this remote work area,
Right.
so, like since COVID, like
Right.
I think that we're already kind of equipped to be able to work async and then come together when we need to do collaborative things.
So
Right.
since y'all in 3 different markets, is it easier for y'all to like, okay, you can go somewhere in Boston, you can go somewhere in New York, and obviously you're here.
Yeah.
Do y'all tackle it that way, or do y'all have conversations? Like, what is that? How are y'all navigating that?
I think once, well, for one, we get a ton of like inbound opportunities, which
Yeah.
we're like super grateful for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we always kind of have to kind of figure out if an opportunity aligns with us first off. So we're already all 3 looking. We're all logged into like our partnerships email.
Right, right.
So we all have access to that. And so once we have our weekly syncs, we're like, okay, we see that this person from this organization reached out. And so before we talk about even location of places, we're talking about just like is the organization and is the event whatever aligned with what we have going on, and like can we accommodate it? Like
Right.
some people reach out and they need like 2,000 cans by
Right.
Saturday, and we're like, okay, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, we can't do that right
yeah.
now, at least.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like our main criteria. We never really let location really deter us unless it is more of like a tight timeline.
Yeah.
But it is kind of just a known fact. Like
Right.
if it's in New York, like Jadrian's like, okay, yeah, I know I can get on the train and I can take like the
Yeah.
2 24 packs over
That's
there.
what's up, yeah.
And then same thing here in Dallas. Shanna's like, I can just get in the car, I can call
Yeah.
up Nova, go do whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's nice. I think it's kind of a balance we've had to learn and figure out ourselves, but I think it has allowed us to kind be in different places, and people are like, how is Sensori everywhere? That's how Sensori's everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Because we're everywhere.
All right, so I saw the debacle, the truck.
What was his name again?
Willie.
Willie.
We made a meme out of Willie.
Oh, Willie.
Willie was,
What did
I
he
will
do?
say Willie was a good guy.
Right.
But Willie
Willie had a
just,
good
He
heart.
couldn't drive.
it was just very,
It was his first drive.
it was very
He
unfortunate.
told us it was his first drive.
Oh,
and it was probably his last drive.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if Willie's still employed.
I don't believe that Willie is
The
still
CEO
employed.
ended up having to fly down from Colorado,
From Colorado.
I believe. And
Yeah.
So
it
did
was
y'all have
unfortunate.
insurance on everything? Like,
We had
Yeah.
insurance.
Yeah.
We were luckily able to replenish that inventory. We had to. But yeah, no, it was actually awful. Like,
It was terrible.
I bet y'all cried.
Honestly, we were-
too fast.
it was too much energy going on.
Yeah.
So we just kind of pivoted the sadness to content.
yeah.
We were
Yeah.
like, let's make a story out of it.
We made it
I was
content,
if we're gonna
and it
take these cans off this truck one by one
Yeah.
with our hands, the
Yeah.
tripod is coming out.
Yeah.
That's, but
And-
that's like, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we said Willie got the right ones.
No, he
Because
did.
we were so nice. We were like, do you want some water?
Yeah.
We were like, it's okay, Willie.
After an hour in, we were just like, what can we do?
Yeah, you need
Like,
some food, Willie?
Yeah. Willie was sweet. He was super
was really
duper
sweet.
sweet.
Super sweet. He was like, honestly, I'm inspired by y'all. Y'all are black excellence.
Yeah, he
This is
was
black
like, black
excellence right here. We're like,
excellence.
okay, Willie, not too much.
You still
Much
messed up our inventory, bro.
You messed up our inventory, Willie.
Yeah.
But, he didn't mean to. He just wasn't using his brain, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And truck drivers, like, they're tired. Like, he had told us,
Yes.
like, his route, like, he had been driving for, like, the past 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he
And
say at
honestly-
one point, he was like, I didn't have any water. I was
like, I
like,
wasn't
let me
drinking
get you
Red
some
Bull.
water. Let me
We
get
let
you
him
some
try
water.
About three
Sensori.
girls like us. We're like, oh, okay. Like, you could tell us, I don't know, I think we're just all, like, really big empaths. So we're just like, aw.
He did give his whole life story to, I think, like, Julian and Matt, maybe?
Matthew
Like,
they were like, okay, we need to figure this out. Like,
Yeah,
they're
but-
obviously being, like, a little bit more.
And I was like,
Trying to
Willie,
get
don't
something
tell us
out
too
there.
much because we are doing an insurance claim.
Yeah.
Like, keep yourself safe,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
But
yes.
I would say, we always say, like, all conflict leads us into the right, like, direction. So it was a learning lesson and one that we got to learn early on. I
Yeah.
would say for, like, all business. We actually had debated whether or not we should get insurance. We were like,
Wow.
oh, we don't think anything's going to happen. Like, should we?
It
Should we
happens
not?
like that every time. When
Right.
you have a conversation like that, it happens every single time.
And then we
Right.
got insurance and we
Yeah.
couldn't be more grateful. And we were just like, all small business owners, like, you have such, a positive energy going into things and you just think everything's going to go your way. But it's like, just over prepare, honestly.
Yeah.
For sure.
And also, even when you do have a good truck driver, there are still chances where any inventory.
Somebody could hit them.
Exactly.
So, like-
Yeah.
So
You really
just
never know.
over prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. How did y'all come up with the formula? How long was the process? What was that like?
Well, Shanna's our chemist.
Yeah, we call her our
Okay.
herbalist.
I am the herbalist. I'm a
Okay.
herbal girly. So
It
how
has-
we first developed like what would go in this beverage is, so as I mentioned, I had been trying a bunch of different alcohol alternatives.
Right.
And there was one in particular that, like, after trying them and not liking any, there was that one that I was like, I actually like this one. Like, it's the flavors there. Like, there's definitely a sensation there. And so, got in Google. I, got on Google, did my research. I ended up finding their formulation team. And got on the phone with their formulation team, and they were like, "Who is this girl? Like, calling us like she knows what she's really talking about." Like, you gotta always just fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
So I jumped on a call with him, and he was like, "What do you want this beverage to feel like?"
Yeah.
And so we just really started diving into like what feeling we wanted to elicit, and then from there we just started doing research on like, oh, there's this beverage, or there's this ingredient called Kana.
Right.
And you mentioned that you want it to, really make people feel good and just like naturally happy. And he's like, Kana can do that. It stimulates your serotonin and it opens up your serotonin flow.
Right.
And then he's the one who also introduced me to like Blue Lotus. And so I started trying Blue Lotus. And we were already pretty like well aware of like lion's mane, reishi, and magnesium, because those ones are pretty popular in the market. Like,
Right.
a lot of beverages, and just not even beverages, supplements, products have lion's mane. A lot of them have reishi. A lot of them have magnesium. But the Kana and Blue Lotus, that's sort of like our signature thing. Like,
Right.
no one else has Kana and Blue Lotus in their beverage. And so yeah, we're actually working on our like patent of it because I mean it's our thing. Like we're the first beverage to have these two in there.
Yeah.
And those are the two ingredients that also really give you that filling state. Like I mean, well, you know, I won't downplay Lion's Mane and Reishi Magnesium because they also
for sure.
they support for sure, but
Right.
it's the Kana and Blue Lotus that like actually have like a psychoactive effect where you feel a sense of like, ooh, I feel something.
Right.
So yeah, we just worked with a formulator, really kind of started with what we want the end result to be, and then just sort of worked backwards. It took about 6 months of just like testing different herbs together. Like I had them in my kitchen and I was like, hey, okay, like we're gonna mix Kana in this.
Yeah,
Like
she's in there just giving us. She's like, I'm gonna put this in here.
Y'all probably like,
I was like
No, we
cooking it
were.
up, like
We
truly
were.
cooking it up in the kitchen,
Yeah.
had them like trying it. And then about 6-7 months later, we officially pulled the trigger and we were like, all right, let's go ahead and pay the fee to like actually have
Yeah.
this made.
Right.
So yeah, that's how
Okay.
we developed it.
So how does it differentiate from, you know, like alcohol? Like, because people probably like think it is, but y'all haven't. Maybe y'all have, but explain it to people that may not know what it is. Just kind of explain it a little bit.
Well, it allows you to first off stay present and stay in control.
Right.
It honestly overnight, like when you go to sleep, it's great for like you being relaxed. Blue Lotus is known for helping you dream, putting you in REM sleep. And then, you know, of course, Kana is just a natural. People actually use it instead of their antidepressants. They'll use Kana because, as Shanna mentioned, it's a natural serotonin. And so those two things together, like you will honestly wake up feeling refreshed. And as she also mentioned, that's where you actually get the psychoactive. So when you are drinking it, you still will get that euphoric state.
Right.
It makes you more talkative. It makes you like naturally laugh.
Yeah.
But it's like the best part is that you are present and in control. And I think that's where you go wrong with alcohol.
Right.
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 Our current tagline is kind of like, you know, the drink that'll make you feel good tonight and tomorrow, because I feel like the comparison is like alcohol will also make you feel better tonight, but won't make you feel better tomorrow. And
Right.
you know, these ingredients are, you know, proven to make you genuinely feel better when you wake up the next day and power through your next day as well. And I think that's one of the main differentiators as well.
Right.
Right. One thing I will say though that we try and like be very clear about is like it's not going to make you feel like you're drunk. Like if you're looking to feel drunk, like this is not the beverage for you. It is going to give you a nice, like subtle yet like undeniably felt sensation.
Right.
But I mean that's also the big difference is like being intoxicated is I think we're all coming to a point where we like, do we want to be intoxicated? Like, do you want to be out of your mind to where you actually aren't in control of your actions, what you're saying? Like, that's the huge difference. As Jadrian mentioned, like you're in control when you drink Sensori. And really all these ingredients not only have like immediate, like short-term benefits, but they have long-term benefits. So like, for example, Lion's Mane is really great for like regenerating your neuroplasticity. We have a friend who had a traumatic brain injury, and I remember her mom asking me like, hey, I know you are like really into all these herbs. Like the doctor told me that I should give our friend Lion's Mane because it helps regenerate brain cells essentially. So I think what's really cool is like, while we don't say this like in terms of like marketing, but it's like, these are like true plant medicines in a beverage. So yeah, it's natural plant medicines versus alcohol that like is factually categorized as like a toxin.
Right.
And an antidepressant.
And an antidepressant. So they're really like, they're not the same. This is an
They're
alternative.
the exact opposite.
Yeah, they're the exact opposite.
Okay. So you would say that this is a upper type of beverage.
We call it like a functional non-alcoholic beverage because you do have a ton of non-alcoholic beverages, which we like to joke around. Some of them are just glorified like white grape juice.
Right.
As
Some of them are
Ashton
just
loves to
juice.
say.
Like,
and
Yeah.
is functional. Like you do feel something. It's short term, but it is stackable if you want like to continue the sensation. But really, you know, we like to say it's formulated for you to be in a feel good state. And so yeah, I don't necessarily think alcohol again. Yeah, you'll feel good for a second, but depending on how long you drink.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So let's talk about the biggest roadblock. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but as far as the roadblock, how did y'all pivot away from what essentially happened that you had to overcome starting this business?
Well, I feel like we really leaned into our newsletter. Like, So if y'all aren't subscribed, subscribe.
Yes.
You know, again, all conflict we feel like leads us in the best direction. And in our newsletter, we just decided to share what had happened with our community. We're really focused on building a community. And I think in order to do that, you have to be transparent and you have to tell them about your downfalls. And like business isn't just fun. And a lot of it is like not fun, actually. So yeah, I'm like, in simple terms, a lot of times like business is just not fun for us, and so we just lean into those areas and tell our community what's going on. And I also just think that like our audience just loves it and they buy into it and they want to like just join us along for the ride and continue to see us like grow, see how we pivot. So honestly, I think it was unfortunate, but it grew our audience a lot.
Right.
We definitely always use everything as a content moment. Like it was just another way for us to really pull our audience into the narrative of like what we were building. And I feel like each conflict has done that. Like each conflict that we've experienced, we definitely take an approach of like building out loud, building very openly. So like if you follow us, you know exactly what's been going on. Like you're not wondering like, oh, what are they doing? Like we're very like open and honest about every aspect of it. And so I mean, every moment just
like I would even say like people probably think selling out is a good thing. It's not. We will never allow that to happen again. But what I will say is because we sold out, it gave us the room that we needed to pivot into investment calls and really being able to pitch ourselves and focus on our deck and be a part of various accelerator programs. And, you know, it's just 3 of us. And if we were having to pack all of these boxes at the end of the night, it just wouldn't have left us bandwidth to really dive into the investor calls. And I feel like, you know, it allowed us to win in that category. And then it also allowed us just to learn the ins and outs of our business and learn what not to do to sell out.
For sure.
And I'm grateful that that's happening on our first round and not when we're like huge. And well, I would say we're huge. We're everywhere.
We're huge.
But
we're manifesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Already.
That's how you're supposed to be.
But, you know, I would hate for people to really love to have Sensori, like, all this like huge audience is always wanting to buy Sensori, and we're out for as long as we've been out right now.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that it's happening now and that we're learning what not to do in order for this to like never happen again.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a flex to sell out. It's actually a sign of your operational process has some holes because you shouldn't be selling out. You should be able to meet the demand of like your audience. And so it's actually not a flex at all, unfortunately.
But it was a great content moment. Again,
It was a great
It was
content.
fun. When the Shopify notifications were ding ding dinging, I went Saturday morning. I was like,
He's like, okay, we got motion. Yeah.
Definitely like,
And then when they said inventory out of stock,
and we had to set it to out of stock.
The day we had a sellout,
It was bad.
it was so funny because we were packing. We literally printed out like hundreds and hundreds of orders, and as we're packing them, we're like, "Y'all, do we have enough to even fulfill all of these? More keep coming."
As we were
And
packing,
we're like,
we couldn't
"Oh
keep
my
hearing
gosh,
the
this is
notification.
crazy!"
It was bad. And even our family was there. And even my dad was like, "Turn it off." My dad said, "We have to cut it off," and we were like, "No."
No, it was funny.
And then we
Keep it
finally
going.
got to like the last little bit of inventory. We were like, "Okay, wait, now this is sad."
Yeah.
This
Now
is sad.
and it was like immediate problem-solving mode. Like immediate problem-solving.
That's been a whole process.
Woo!
Such a process.
So when it comes to intention, wellness, and connection, as far as the brand goes, how do y'all use it in your personal lives? Like, what is an example? Just give one example of like how y'all are using that, you know, your mission basically in your personal lives.
well, I would say we all wake up in the morning and we're very intentional with how we start our day.
You have a good chat.
Do we?
We have a constant stream of communication.
Constant stream of
At
communication
all
for
times.
sure.
Yeah.
But I would say in the morning, you know, we all focus on wellness. Like, we cannot do our best if we do not feel our best. So, you know, Ashlyn loves to go do Pilates in the morning. I guess I oftentimes do Pilates too. Shannon will go on her 4-mile run.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, that's how we first start. We journal, we meditate, and we make sure that we take care of ourselves first before we dive into our day.
Right.
I would piggyback on what she's saying and say that like those elements you just mentioned, like what did you say, intention, wellness,
And connection.
like those to me are the 3 things that have like kept us so close throughout all these years.
Right.
Is like we grew up all like feeling this passion for connection, wellness, intention. And so honestly, like I would say that's the glue that's like held us together. And then now we've just like created it into like a physical product.
Right.
But literally like during COVID, we would wake up and we would like all watch church together. And then we would like after church talk about like, okay, what really resonated for you? And like, I mean, yeah, like it was. That's
then we started juicing all together.
Yeah, we would start juicing together.
Ashlyn
like
was a trainer.
On FaceTime, we were doing everything.
She would let us join her sessions for free.
Yeah, it was I mean, honestly, like people are like, COVID was the worst time. Like, honestly,
I was doing my big one. I was doing my big one.
It helped a lot of people. It hurt a lot of people, but it helped a lot of people too.
Yeah,
right.
In terms of like being able to like build a routine and just like have the time to do all of like I feel like the intentional things we wanted to do. But I do think that something else that's really great about those three things that we like embody as like individuals. I think it's something we also like hold each other to, like those three standards. So like obviously there's times where even like probably this week that we've all been really stressed and we're still like, okay, like still make sure you go do your thing. Like Shanna, still get up and go do your run. Like yes, we have this meeting starting at whatever 8:30 Eastern time, but still make sure you're taking that time. Or if tonight like you feel like you're actually tapped, like no, Darian, like go to bed.
Yeah,
right.
Relax.
Yeah,
chill,
like
we good.
Nothing. We're not like really curing cancer here. We're just here to provide like a solution that really helps people, and we can't help people if we're not helping ourselves. So I think that accountability in our friendship, knowing that those are three things that we stand for individually, we're always like, hey, like let's not forget. Like let's not forget. Like everybody take a deep breath.
Right.
And so I think that aspect also like of our friendship and that connection is what really keeps us accountable in that respect.
Okay. So do y'all feel like y'all are best friends right now, or is it more? Because sometimes whenever you have a group of not even in the aspect of women, it's just a group of people that's in business together. Everybody thinks differently. So like maybe y'all don't. But what do y'all feel like has been?
There are often times we do think different, and I think
many times.
And I think it comes down to us all being able to understand that we're speaking to things in like a positive nature, even if we're not aligned on what we're saying. I think, and it also comes down to a lot of times I'll be like, Shanna, I might disagree with you, but as CEO, I'm going to let you run with that. Right. Ashlyn, I might disagree with this marketing thing, but as CMO, I'm going to let you run with it. And same with like COO. So it also just comes down to us staying in our lanes to be transparent.
Right.
But also, I feel like at the end of the day, respecting like our friendship.
Yeah.
Right. I would also say we don't have like huge egos where like I'm okay to be wrong.
Right.
Like I feel like we're all okay to be wrong. And so with that, like it's also like we are also very much so acknowledging of like I don't know everything. And so with that, like I'm always going to want to hear like where you're coming from, and then just really like, well, let's weigh out which option makes more sense. And like we go about it very like pragmatically in that regard. And so yeah, I mean, even when we aren't necessarily like aligned, I think we can all come to alignment just based on like, okay, well, let's figure out what makes sense. Like it's definitely not any bit of like Ashlyn's like, this is what we're doing. Like, you know, it's like,
it's never like hands are down.
Yeah, it's never like, this is what we're doing. And like, if you don't like it, like that's literally just not how we operate.
That's not even how we communicate with people in our day to day.
Right.
So I think it also comes down to who we are as people. And like, I think that doesn't mean we don't get frustrated, but it all comes down to like I trust them and I would rather just understand where they're coming from and me come around than anything else.
For sure.
And to answer your question, I would say we're best friends and we're sisters. We oftentimes just call each other sisters.
Right.
I think the growing up together also just gives us, we've seen each other through many of eras of life.
Yeah.
And so I think we just have a very deep understanding of each other and like what's like just like the landscape of our lives. And I feel like it's different than like your coworkers maybe, or people that you may just like do business with that you just know. Because, you know, maybe at like a certain time of year, like they might know like something is like a trigger for me or like whatever. And it's like, okay, like we can back off of her at this time or vice versa. And so I think that knowing that, and since we do have like this very like family integrated like style of friendship, it's nice that we can be like, okay, like we know that, you know, Shanna has this, you know, she has this with the family, or Darian may have something where she's out of town, that you may not have that level of awareness when you're just working with someone, it's just work. So I feel like some people were like, how are you guys friends and doing business? And I'm like, honestly, I think it helps us. Because it helps us like kind of move fast without having to wonder, you know, like if your coworker comes to work and they're in a bad mood, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is like kind of impeding things.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's wrong. We always know what's wrong.
Yeah.
We always know what's wrong. Like,
yeah.
And we can tell the tone through the text also.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
okay, I'm like, leave that alone.
I'm not gonna at her today.
Yeah.
No, Darian always says she can read my. She's like, okay, I know that Ashlyn's not on it today. Got it.
Right. So that's how it is with me and my camera guy, aka my little brother.
Oh.
Like he is the person that like he has the vision, and then sometimes I'll come in and be like, "Nah, we should do it this way." Da, 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 da. He's like, "Bro, do you want me here or not?" I'm like,
Yeah.
right. You got it.
Right.
So it's like it's always like it's a healthy medium, and sometimes you have to have like the last y'all session is like, okay, if we don't agree with something, then we have to talk about it.
Right.
Why you feel this way? Why is it
100%.
going to work? Because you got to bring something to the table that's going to show us why it's going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm always saying, let's make it make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We can get
Exactly.
behind anything that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think also like it probably comes down to even what you're describing, like emotional awareness. Like,
yeah.
are you emotionally intelligent? Because if you're emotionally intelligent, I feel like you're able to kind of like work through your thoughts, work through even if like something initially triggers you. If you're emotionally intelligent, you know how to like, okay, well, let me like peel that layer away and just like look at it more holistically. And we definitely, I would say, like these are two of the most emotionally intelligent women I know. Like, and I'm sure for your situation with your brother, like you trust each other's emotional intelligence, and so
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it just makes for good partnerships to have
get it.
that.
Right. So I want to kind of take a little left turn here. So Shanna, I know you have like this amazing story. You've been through a lot. So how is that shaping you for you to be one head of Sensori and just giving everybody direction while you've been through what you've been through? Like,
This year has been a lot.
Right.
It's been a lot between like losing my dad and then just different things that have taken place this year. But I would say because I've gone through a lot just throughout my entire life,
Right.
like my barrier for dealing with tough things is pretty strong. Like, I will not lie. Like, I definitely, that being said, like, I'm not someone who's like not going to address how I feel. Like, I'm definitely a feeler and like I'm going to let myself feel things. But at the end of the day, I'm big on like, you wake up and you choose how you feel. And like, could you wake up and choose to feel bad? And is that probably somewhat valid? Yeah, I'm sure there are situations where it is valid. But if I have to choose, I'm going to choose time and time again to feel good.
right.
Again, I'm not ever an advocate of like ignoring how you feel. Like if you feel a certain way, I think you should go there. Like, and that probably also helps me is I'm not afraid to go towards like the darker places within myself to address them. Because if you
Right.
don't address them, then like you're actually not helping yourself. You're not helping anything. And so I'm definitely big on like, let me address how I'm feeling. Let me process it through. And then once I've processed it through, like I don't need to hold on to it. Like
Right.
even like with grief with my dad, like I definitely have my days where like it hits me really hard and I let myself process it through. And once I have, like, on to the next. Like,
Right.
I got another moment to experience, and this moment doesn't need to be overshadowed with grief. Like, I
Right.
can approach this moment with joy and with
Right.
intention, which again comes down to
Absolutely.
just being intentional with how you want to feel. Like, if you want to feel bad all the time, I think it's good to realize that we live in a world of attraction, and so you're only going to attract what you are.
Right.
And so if you let yourself continue to feel bad, unfortunately, you're just going to feel more bad.
Right.
So,
That's what's up.
yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, since y'all are close, just in the sense of not even just business, everyday life, because, I mean, whatever y'all are going through, y'all have to address it regardless.
Right.
How do y'all feel like, so since you guys are like, okay, this person is not on it today, do y'all have separate conversations or everything is like to where everyone can see? Because sometimes some people may not want to have, they might not even want to have like messages show up. That's how I am. I don't want to see anything. If I'm going through something, I don't want to see it. So if y'all have a side conversation, I would love to know about it later. Is that something that y'all do, or?
I would say definitely, like,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
when we're all on vacation.
Yeah.
But even when Shanna's dad did pass away, we were very respectful of, we know Shanna, and if we let Sensori go down right now, this is her baby, but we don't want to bring any pressure to her.
Right.
So we were like, let's have these side conversations, and Shanna will let us know when she wants to dive back in.
Right.
And so we let her come to us with, okay, I'm ready. But yeah, I think we're really good at, especially when we're on vacation, that like I want them to enjoy their vacation, and how can they? Like I think there was something that went down with our production line when Ashlyn was on her last vacation, and we didn't even let her know.
No, and then
we didn't even let her know.
And like sometimes, like, you know, like when things like are like discussed in the group chat, like I can go back and I'm like, oh, okay, like I can like kind of catch up. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? I'm like,
we're like, you don't need to know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean?
Or even we had like a designer not work out, and so I was doing something.
Yeah, I think you were tapped out, and then
Ashlyn and Shannon were like, we'll let her know on Monday.
Yeah.
Because they were like, Darian might cry.
Yeah,
she might
like,
cry.
This is like crash out material.
Yeah.
So we have to gauge, like, okay, like, will this make them crash out?
Let's save this for later.
And if so,
we'll save it for
can be
another
saved
day.
for another time.
Because it's
We
like,
can shove it for now.
I want her to continue to have a good day. They want me to continue to have a good day, and like vice versa. So I think it comes down to being very intentional and knowing each other, and you know, separating that. Also, business is not everything, and nor should it be.
Right.
And there's 3 of us, and so someone, if not even just one of us, can handle it on our own for that little amount of time.
Right.
Yeah, I would also say, and I feel like you and I talk about this a lot, we're good at knowing when like I need my friend at my business partner. Like
Right.
we're definitely good at knowing when it's like I actually don't want to talk business. I really just need my friend, and like I need a listening ear. And I think like I've had those moments, like they've had those moments, and we're just good at knowing when it's like, okay, no, like let's take the business hat off, and like let's just be our friends.
Right,
so
right.
And I would say, me being in New York, I'll call them in the morning, and they're like, yes. I'm like, oh, we're not talking business. I'm like, I just made coffee. What are we doing today? They're like, I'm like, let's just chit chat for a little bit. I miss y'all.
Oh my goodness. So how long have you been in New York?
I'm going on 7 years.
7 years.
Man.
And I have to say a funny story of probably like 4 years ago, Ashlyn called me, and she's like, yeah, so when are you moving back to Dallas? I said, what do you mean? She said, well,
I thought it was like a fun
we're
little
getting on
skit.
4 years. Like, when are you coming back? I said, who said that? She said, oh, I just thought this was like for you
Like
to be
it-
cute.
Yeah.
You're like,
Is it
oh,
to be
this is
cute?
like a
Phase.
fun, like, you know, like post-grad little fun time. And I was like,
Yeah.
didn't realize it was
like,
forever.
Well, because like my dream, obviously, like before, like my plans changed and I'm moving to Boston, like was that we just like all live on the same street.
Right.
Like,
Have your houses and
we could
stuff.
literally live how we're living this week, like all
Yeah.
the time. Like I'm
Right.
like my dream life. So I'm like, okay, like when are we wrapping this up? Like,
Right.
And she was like,
She was
never.
so serious.
And she was like,
I don't
I
think-
plan on like settling here and like raising my children. I'm like, okay. Still up for debate. We're still.
I was about to
it's
say,
still-
so
But we
that-
do
still an open
say
conversation.
that we're gonna like buy a house together. Us and like her boyfriend. We're like, why don't we invest in like a house together down the
Right.
street from Shanna?
Right.
And so we can at least have that. We all talk about like creating a compound together, and we're very serious
Right.
about that. And like, I'll be here. I'll come back.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll fly in.
Well, speaking of compounds, ladies and gentlemen, you can always call me at 469-307-3954 if you are looking for a house. Anyway.
Yes.
That's gonna be our go-to for the call.
You know.
we know who will be helping us.
We know who to
Our
call.
house here.
We know who to call.
Exactly. So how do you feel like the launch of Sensori has shaped you to now? Because I know a lot has happened. How do you feel about it since it launched to now?
I think I've learned a lot about my. Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
No.
I think I've just learned a lot about my own personal capacity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when we first started, we were all 3 working our full-time jobs. And at first it was like, okay, like this feels like kind of crazy. And now, I mean, it still feels crazy, granted, but I think that knowing we've been able to drive like so much momentum
Mm-hmm.
in just like putting in like our 5 to 9s or more like 5 to maybe like midnight, but like 5 to 9
Yeah.
after work, like
Yeah.
really
Truly.
grinding it out, and the people are so bought into it. Like it's truly taught me, like, I don't know, I think before maybe I thought that you had to do everything, like you had to be able to pull all the levers, when really I feel like I just learned I just need to figure out what levers can I pull and that I can pull very well,
Right.
rather than trying to do everything. So it's given me a new shift of focus that like I can actually get a lot done when I'm not worried about doing every single thing. Like what 3 things can I do today and do them well,
Right.
and still feel productive in doing those things, rather than being disappointed that I didn't get everything in my brain done.
Right.
So it's just taught me a lot about my capacity and what I can take on, and you know what you can put out, and once you kind of change your strategy in terms of how you're spending your time.
Okay.
Because there's always going to be more.
All right.
There's always gonna be
The
more.
list never ends. Even when you think it's going to end,
Yeah.
it just never ends. So
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up and go to sleep on time, to be honest. Because
Yeah.
it's more
Rest
important that
is
you go to
essential.
sleep and that you can wake up and again be intentional than you stay up till 12 and exhaust yourself. And that's not to say that some nights we don't
Grind
we,
it out,
We do
yeah.
have to grind it out, but I would say more nights than not we prioritize us being healthy.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like one thing that the launch of Sensori has like shown me is the power of like being in alignment, because again, like we talked about this is my third business, this is their second business, and or third for you too. And honestly, nothing has ever been this like organically like this momentous. Like there's so much momentum that like yes, we put in the effort, but on some level, I'm like, oh, this is all God. Like, this is
really
like
is.
the amount of
Facts.
momentum that comes from this that, like, I would not say that the proportion of my efforts matches the level of momentum. And, like, I think it's just, like, been a case in point of when you are in alignment, things happen, like, so naturally, and there's just, like, a natural flow. And that's felt really cool to, like, just witness. Like, even literally today, my brother texted us, and he was like, y'all really out here just like living your reality, like, or making your like dream life like this reality
Facts.
thing. And he's like, this is crazy to watch. Like, I'm
Yeah.
truly like, it almost made me cry. Like, I was like, yeah, no, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
we have investors that are wanting to reach out who were like, if you would have told me a year ago this person like wanted to invest in our business, like, we'd be like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BS. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And so it's been proof that if you are in alignment, that's no better place to be than to
Right.
be in alignment.
Right.
People always call us delusional, but look where delusion has gotten us.
Yeah.
Call me
Oh,
delusional.
yeah. Delusion will take you further than being cool. I mean, that's
Exactly.
just how it is, you know.
really is. You
Be
have to
weird. Be as weird as
Be a little
possible. Be
delulu.
that person that just don't get along with everybody.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, why am I trying to fit in with y'all?
Right.
You know what I
Don't
mean?
be too stuck in the reality. Like,
Exactly.
Don't be too stuck in reality, because
Yeah.
reality is what you make it.
I mean,
And
we're formulating it, so you know, the power is in our hands. We just got to go ahead and
Don't
shape the
believe in
future.
limiting beliefs. Our intern is always like, they have limiting beliefs about themselves.
Yeah,
see-
no.
You're
See
right.
how she did that? You see how she did that, right? Our intern. Don't worry
No,
about
I mean, but I always
You know
like
what
to
I
plug
mean?
him at any chance.
Oh, we have-
He's great.
He's
The
literally-
most amazing
That's what's
intern
up.
ever.
Shout out
He's
Charles.
just the best.
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name is
Charles.
Charles.
I'm sure
Shout out to
We would have
Charles.
brought him, honestly.
Yeah.
If he lived closer,
Yeah.
would've
we
been
would
here.
have brought him.
Yeah.
He's so great, like,
Yeah.
in so many ways.
Right.
Yeah, no, the team, like, there's 3 of us, and we do have, like, obviously, we're the 3 founders, but we have an intern. We have another partner. She's not a partner of the business, but she might as well be with the level of, like, effort she gives. She's our designer, and, like, she's our
I know.
best kept secret.
Right.
Shout out Mary.
Shout out
No
to
last
Mary.
name.
Shout out Queen Mary.
We're not dropping no last names, because you will not be stealing our designer. And you wouldn't even know, even if you tried to go look, she's so low key, you wouldn't even know who she is,
Yeah.
because she's just so low key. But, like,
That's what's
my
up.
point being, we have a strong team behind us that supports us. Like, we have some unofficial, like, financial officers. Like, we truly have your mom. Like,
I was about to say
we
our
got a
family.
squad of
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
really
That's what's up.
support.
That's
Yeah.
what's
We
up.
really
It's a
do.
family affair.
Yeah, that's what's up. And like, I mean, it kind of is, you know, like, even with the podcast and stuff, like, it's been a lot of days to where we had to do, like, we had to pivot, re-record, you know, as people, but they still coming out and supporting. So that made me feel good. Like, my last guest, he's a huge guest. He came back. We had an issue, and we had to re-record. So it was like, oh my goodness, he's not gonna want to do this again.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. I got you. When? Tomorrow? I'll be there.
I love that.
I was like, oh, goodness. So it was really dope to see. And like you said, like, when you got family in your corner, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I think something else we probably all 3 learned, like, back to your previous questions, is that relationships truly are everything.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't even want to call them, like, our network, because some of these people are, like, our families, but even, like, their, you know, networks have
Yeah.
been such big resources to us. And, you know, some of, like, our parents' coworkers,
Yeah.
like, now our mentors.
Right.
And I think that since we pour so much into, you know, our communities around us, I think
Yeah.
that translates into, you know, the community that we're building with Sensori as well. So that community aspect is something that we really hold as a priority in our personal lives
Right.
too, for sure.
I would say even
Oh.
like to what you just mentioned with like the guest you had who was willing to come back, and like how Ashlyn's describing like people being willing to help us is like the energy that you're giving and putting out, like they probably love your energy, and like people usually we usually hear great things about what we put out, and with that, it's like people respond well. They want to help you out.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
No, we were like, we want to be on Jay's podcast.
No,
Let's make time.
we definitely wanted to.
No, we were like, one day, we're like, we need to squeeze it in while we're all still at Sensori camp. Sensori summer camp.
Yeah.
It was very important to us.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I'm proud of you, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
Appreciate
I'm
it.
very, very
Appreciate
proud.
it,
Great
guys.
energy.
Appreciate
Always
it.
had
Wonderful
great energy.
Yes, he has
absolutely.
always had great
Absolutely.
energy.
I appreciate.
Since we were literally middle school, you've always had the same good, warm energy.
I appreciate
truly.
that. I appreciate that because I try to give just good energy in general because I've been through a lot and I've seen people kind of go through a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like you never know what people are going through. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, before I cry, we gonna take a little bit. So I like talking about legacy on this podcast. The first question that I do have is like, what is greatness to y'all? Since we locating greatness right now.
Greatness to me, or like what will equate to greatness, is me being able to give back to my family.
Right.
I think we're often like, we're doing this because we believe in this mission, but more importantly, we just want our family members to be happy and to be able to see the world and like live.
Yeah.
And it's a hard world. And so sometimes I always tell people, I actually don't want everyone to think they have to create a business or think they have to work as hard as us.
Yes.
Like, I know there's people who are like, oh, if I did it, then I'm going to keep it to myself. But I would say we're three very giving people. And at the end of the day, this is rooted in me wanting to get back to my family and friends and me wanting them to have the best life possible.
Right. And I think, before, especially with what y'all are bringing, this is a corporation in the making. So like y'all have so many people that y'all know, that y'all can trust to just be able to do things like work for y'all, not work for y'all, but build the business with y'all.
We got a pipeline. We got a pipeline already.
So it's like it's money that's coming in that's able to come in for everybody. You know what I mean? But my bad, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think to answer your question about greatness, I've been thinking a lot about like the whole little trend that's like rich in life, and I think that that's something that we all truly see as our North Star. Like being able to have the whole family over for dinner, to be able to pay for all my family to go on vacation and no one have to really think about anything. Like some people are like, oh, like what's the number? Like what's the number in terms of like success? I don't have it. Like it truly is like a feeling, and it really is a feeling of everyone knowing they're taken care of, and like everyone can sit in this room and enjoy themselves, and that I can help contribute to that. And I think that really is my North Star. Like I can't tell you how rich or successful that I want to be or where that is or what the house looks like, but I can tell you what it feels like. And I think that is kind of like something that we all share, and I think that even makes us better partners, because there's not one of us that's just like, no, I just want to be a quadrillionaire. Like that's not even necessarily the case.
I don't need all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's come too many problems too. So.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. My definition of greatness, honestly, I mean, definitely going to build on what they said. It is like, quite literally, my alarm when I wake up in the morning, it says, get ready for your unlimited life. Like it's living in like an unlimited of all things, and like not even physical material things, but like an unlimited amount of love, joy, peace, clarity. And yeah, that's my definition of greatness, is to like live in that state where like I don't feel any lack of people I love. I don't feel any lack of like really amazing experiences. I don't feel any lack of creativity. I don't feel any lack of like buying what I want. Like that, I gotta be real. I want to be able to like swipe the card and literally like I didn't even
not
think twice. Not check after. Like, how did that impact my? No. Like I want to be able to also like give to my family. Like Darian and I have always had this dream of like, well, two that we always talk about. One, we always say we want to live in a different country and like take my kid, take her kids, live in a different country like Spain for like 6 months to a year, and just like let the kids have a Spain year, and like how amazing for their lives is that. And the second thing we always say is we want to be able to like, our families are close. Really, all of our families are super close. My older brother is like best friends with her older siblings, and so we're always like, the day that we can take the whole fam on like some vacation somewhere, like that is the pinnacle of our success, and like that's when we know like I think we actually might get to that moment and cry.
That's gonna be the greatest party of our life.
And we'll need a camera crew.
That'll be the moment we cry.
Because that will be like a little reality show.
I'll have a whole production company.
We're gonna need a camera crew.
It's gonna be crazy.
We just want to spoil them.
Yeah.
And give them everything that they could ever dream of.
Right.
And with that, we'll have everything that we ever dreamed of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad that you guys are being realistic with your goals and what y'all want to do. When people say that there's a different motive as far as whenever they start a business, there's always the money motive in it. It depends on what you're doing with the money when you get it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I always think. Like, if you want all the money for yourself, then that's doing it for the wrong reasons. But if you're spreading the wealth for the people that do care about you, then that's like, okay, we made it.
And I would say we do that even now.
Yeah.
Like, we might not have it like we will, but we definitely spoil each other.
Yeah, like the I got you moment whenever you need.
Yes, all the time. All the time.
Right.
I would also say though, not to negate what you said at all, but like in terms of being realistic with what we want, I think we all are like convinced that we are already rich. Like, so in terms of like the amount of money, like I feel like if you were to say like what's the amount of money, like I'm like, I don't know. I know I'm gonna be like rich AF. And that's just like, I feel like I'm already rich and I'm surprised that the money hasn't already just like became my reality.
Yeah.
And so that being said, it's like,
and even I do want to talk about how one time I felt like I was like, wow, I feel like we're limiting ourselves. When we were going viral on TikTok, we were like, oh my God, we're going to hit 1,000.
Y'all had
Then
heat.
we were like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Like we were each saying a number.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't we just stop saying a number?
Yeah.
Because
Honestly,
we are shooting
you
really
just brought
low.
me to what I wanted to say. It's like there's no cap for me. Like there's not like I think I'm gonna get here and that's where I'm gonna stop. Like
Absolutely.
it's like I'm going to just
I'm just going to let the universe do
I'm
what
just
it
gonna
does.
ride the wave.
Yeah.
And I think the wave is gonna be a tsunami.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe.
Yeah,
for
that
us.
was a learning lesson for me. I was like, oh my God, we had shot low.
Yeah, like why were we thinking so low? Like
Yes.
why would we think it was only gonna get to
Yes.
X amount? And when it like 10x what we originally thought. And so definitely like a learning lesson for us of like don't even cap your own self. Like don't limit your own self. Like just expect greatness to happen.
Yeah.
And I think if you expect it, it will happen.
And that's like essentially what I was like going to, and that's a really great point. The biggest thing for me is like comfortability. Being comfortable financially. I'm rich in love already. So
Yes.
I'm straight.
I feel that for you.
You know what I mean? Like I'm good. But it's like we always got to make sure that we're trying to be comfortable financially too. Like
I agree.
I don't want people to like deter away from it. Like your point is very valid. But I
hear
do
you.
want people to be like, "Hey, we got to go get it." You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear you. For sure.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's essentially where I was going. But you had a really good point.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm definitely an advocate of like, do what you got to do to like, if you're not living comfortable, then like, that's the first problem.
Right.
Like, if you're in such discomfort, like you're not even going to get what you want because
Right.
start there, find a comfortable place.
Yeah. So as far as Sensori in the next few years, now y'all can decline the answer. Y'all don't have to. But where do you feel Sensori is gonna be 2027 or 8?
Disrupting.
Let's go 2028.
Disrupting the non-alcoholic business. I think we will be a multi-million-dollar company. Not I think. We will be a multi-million-dollar company who disrupts the alcohol business. We will be the Poppy of functional non-alcoholic beverages. And yeah, I truly believe that and see it and feel it. So yeah, and then a few years after that, we will be exiting
Yeah.
and we will be
Yeah.
bought out by a huge company. So
Yeah.
Diageo, one of them.
Pepsi.
Pepsi,
Yeah.
one of the big beverage conglomerates will be calling us. Yeah, no, I think like our big goal is to disrupt the alcohol space. Like
Right.
all the people that are constantly buying more and more alcohol, hoping that's gonna, be their companion for their self-care moment, their social moment.
Right.
We're gonna give them a better solution, and they're gonna understand that you can feel good off ingredients that are not toxins. So yeah, disrupting the alcohol space. I think you'll see at that point. You'll probably see us in bars everywhere, wellness studios everywhere. You'll see us in all the retailers: Whole Foods, Target, Walmart,
Right.
H-E-B, Kroger. You name
Right.
them. You'll see Sensori on the
Okay.
shelves.
Okay. Did you have it?
I was gonna say, I also think that there's just such an opportunity to educate about the ingredients as well. Like I think that hopefully also by that time, the Kana and Blue Lotus blend, or even maybe like more herbs that we discover are more mainstream, and we can like educate, especially minority communities and people of color, about these wellness modalities, because that's another big goal of ours, is in that disruption is being able to be Black women and tell other women of color that, hey, we know these things are usually not marketed towards us, and these wellness modalities are usually marketed towards white women quite transparently, and really disrupting that space as well, and empowering
100%.
other women of color to know that we can also have these things.
Right.
So really just making that more accessible and approachable, I feel like, to people of color.
Right.
Yes.
Soft life. Black women, you can have a soft life and focus on wellness.
Is that how you say clock it?
Clock
Yeah.
it.
Clock it.
Clock it. Darren's been teaching me.
This one's
Clock
eight.
it.
This
Okay.
one's
And this one's clock it.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know
So
that.
this is eight.
Eight.
Like, oh, you
My
ate.
friend's
Yeah.
niece was teaching us that. She's like, we were like, oh, you ate. She was like, what? No, I ate.
Oh my God. Let me guess. She's like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
I know, we're getting up there.
That's hilarious. Okay, so how am I going to ask this? So I know a lot of people may have questions about your pricing. Can you break it down why it's what it is now, and the improvement that could be made, or keeping it this way? Just want to, for people to know.
Yeah. No, and honestly, you bring up a fair question, because we do hear from a good number of people like, I want a Sensori every single day, but quite transparently, it's a little pricey.
Right.
And honestly, we would never want price to be the reason someone can't get their hands on our solution. So I'll start with the first thing of why it is where it is now. The reality is we are starting this business from the ground up, and when you're starting, obviously it would not be to your benefit to go order these ginormous quantities of a product and sit on product.
Right.
Business 101 is don't sit on your product for too long. You need to be able to move through it quickly. And with that being said, when you're ordering in these smaller-ish quantities, the price is more expensive. And so where we are now, we are priced that way to actually make a profit.
Right.
Because you'd be surprised. I mean, the price that goes into even just making one can, the ingredients in them, and we select highest quality of these ingredients. And so they're just pricey right now. I won't lie to you. They're very pricey. It's something that we literally talk through on the daily. But the good thing is with this kind of beverage is as you scale up, as you buy more, the price goes down.
Right.
And so I'll be honest, as we plan to restock, we've been trying to talk about how low can we go to where we can turn somewhat of a profit in this current state, because this is a state where it's we're not ordering 200,000 cans at one time. That's just not where we are. When we're ordering that many cans at one time, the price is going to be far lower than what it is now in terms of what we pay to get the product. But again, we've been talking about how low can we make it where it's accessible, and we can still be profitable. And it's something that we talked about this morning. We talk about it every day because we do want our product to be accessible. As we were just saying, a part of our mission is to make wellness more accessible for communities of color, because it's not often marketed towards us, because typically the price is so premium. That being said, we don't want to discount ourselves in terms of this is a premium product. These are premium ingredients in this beverage. And it's you'll go to a bar and you'll spend, without second thought, you'll spend $12 on a beverage, on a cocktail, without second thought. No one's gonna even second guess. You're gonna be all right,
That's
cool.
in Texas.
Yeah.
And that's in Texas.
Yeah.
$18 in New York.
18.
It's on 18.
no.
No.
22 at a really nice place.
No way.
No, literally, people will spend upwards of $18 on a cocktail.
Yeah.
But then it's there's people have an issue with spending $6 on this beverage. And I think it's a matter of us educating people on, to Ashlyn's point, educating them on the value of these ingredients. These are in some cases people use these ingredients in literal supplements.
Yeah.
And so it's an education component to get people to understand why we are priced the way we are. But we definitely want it to be accessible. We are definitely always revisiting how we can make it more accessible. And at this point, we've talked about maybe we just bite the bullet and bring it somewhat down to a place where we're not profitable, but knowing that we can generate more customers, and then with more customers, we become profitable. So yeah.
I'm glad that you went through that, because you have people that's always gonna say something.
Right.
I've heard it personally.
Right.
So it's like, okay, got them on the podcast. Let's check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Show them this.
Yeah, show them this. Show them this. Definitely show them this. And also, like, we're open books. Like, one thing about us,
that's exactly why I asked.
We are 100% open books. You can like ask us anything, and like we will be very honest with you.
And our goal really is to go like quite low. Like, don't want to promise a number, but like we are truly working on it, and like we hear people and we listen to them, and even for ourselves, we're like, we just want it to be very accessible.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we're at the start here. So I mean, it's no biggie. It's not like live or die by it right now. But I mean, when you're at the beginning, you have to charge premium. You have to. Like, you can't sustain cheap at the beginning.
You really can't,
because you're not gonna be able to even get your money back.
Right.
So, but yeah. So since we are here at the end, I do want y'all to plug your social media, even if it's personal, and then Sensori as well. So let the people know where they can find you.
Well, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Drink Sensori. You can check us out on our website at drinksensori.com and stay up to date with our newsletter there as well. You can sign up for the newsletter there. And we're also adding a little blog section there this year as well. So you can learn a little bit more about these wellness modalities, learn more about the herbs, but definitely join the community of Feel Good Seekers on any of our platforms.
Hey.
Plug your social.
So individual.
Oh, I can go first. On Instagram and TikTok, Ashland November, 2 N's in the middle.
Period.
Excuse me.
Yes. On Instagram, Darian Rhodes. Just straight to it, first and
That's
last
it?
name.
Okay.
Yeah, no, on Instagram and TikTok, Shanna Perry. I got married recently, so
Excuse them.
yeah, so Shanna Perry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, ladies, I really do appreciate you guys coming in. Will we do a